Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
All right, we got the sports dad on location. First one out to the practice facility here. Patriots are going to be rolling in on a couple team buses at some point, but you are at TCO Performance Center ahead of the joint practices today, Judd. We lost Judd's mic already.
You gotta either you're muted. Are you muted on the website?
Yeah.
Oh, it muted me.
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing. I didn't even mute myself there. No, I'm very excited for this.
Hopefully that's not foreshadowing for J.J. McCarthy's practice today. Here we go. All right, let's go. Let's start it up. Fumble.
Yeah, nope.
Interception.
I do not expect that.
So we're going to get into the accountability session, the write that down predictions, and even a smattering of some camp notes because some really interesting roster moves announced yesterday by the Vikings. A shout out to North American Banking Company for powering Write That Down on a weekly basis here on Purple Daily. So North American Banking Company, Minnesota-based since 1998. They have 6 locations in the Twin Cities: Maple Grove, Roseville, Shoreview, Hastings, Woodbury, and 50th in France. And they specialize in just being friendly, knowledgeable people who value the safety and security of your accounts, and they can help you with anything big or small financially, whether it's checking and savings experience, or maybe you're planning to buy a home or setting up a business, something bigger. You can trust the folks at North American Banking Company, nabankco.com/Mackey to learn more. That's nabankco.com/Mackey. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And you guys are, so we asked you guys, the audience, on Monday, if you could help us raise $20,000 this week for the annual Score North Power of Sports auction across all of our Score North podcasts, benefiting the Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute, which for children and adults who experience life-altering injuries, could be stroke-related, could be brain-related, could be something neurological. It can be a long road back to recovery, and that's where Courage Kenny steps in. Well, you've already helped us get to over $16,000 in donations and bids and purchases at scorenorth.com/bid. So, Judd, you were checking out the Dinner with Purple Daily experience this morning. It was at like $700, and that's dinner with us.
Yep.
And then it's the Jefferson autograph and the Harrison Smith autograph,
football.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's a JJ signed jersey and a football signed by Harrison Smith, which basically means you're going to get 2 Hall of Famers right there. So, like, forget us for a second.
Will you sign a Judd's Camp Notes notebook and add it to this experience too?
Of course I will. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think this is an awesome price.
Yeah, it's at $720 right now.
Yeah.
We had last year we went with a group of listeners to, it was a Parlor in the North Loop in Minneapolis, and it was really fun. It was like 2 hours, and I don't know, we were talking stories and talking about the show and everyone's fan backgrounds, but there's a bunch of items to buy or bid on at scorenorth.com/bid. And it looks like, the Adams, so we have 3 pairs of Adam Sandler suite tickets left and 2 pairs of Burt Kreischer suite tickets left. So those are going to go today if you want to get your hands on those, and a bunch of other things. Looks like the Thor and Phil Gopher suite has sold out. So that's good. But check it out, scorenorth.com/bid. Are you guys ready for a little write that down session here?
Absolutely.
As we do every Wednesday.
Let's do it.
So here's how it works. It's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of, on this version, the football version, completion percentage and touchdowns. And then if you want to be like Billy, who's going to join us from his football man cave here, if you want to be a guest listener predictor, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app. All right, let's start with Judd's accountability. 2 things came off the board, and then one worth highlighting here. You said J.J. McCarthy would play exactly 2 series in the preseason opener.
Only got the 1.
Yeah.
But he got 12 plays, so I was thinking he would probably get about 12 plays total. I guess I was short on faith. I shouldn't have been.
I saw ESPN this morning did a big segment on like the upcoming preseason games, and one of their questions was, what does J.J. McCarthy need to show us in the Saturday preseason game against the Patriots?
They did?
It's like, all right, guys. First of all, it sounds like he's not going to play in that game.
Well, the only thing I am curious about one thing in that game in particular. Does he wear his ball cap backwards? Because as we all know,
he was last weekend.
Yeah, if he does, I mean, you guys know Colin and I are out then. Coward and I are out.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen Judd wear a backwards hat.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I used to.
Okay. You don't just flip that thing around on the weekends once in a while after a couple IPAs?
I don't wear a ball cap a lot on the weekends. No, so I don't.
What about the weekdays? Do you wear a ball cap?
No, not really, unless I haven't showered yet and I'm doing the show.
That's my thing.
I wear a hat, but I don't flip it around backwards. But I'm joking, of course, about the fact that J.J. McCarthy is a punk if he wears his hat backwards.
Tom Brady used to wear his hat backwards, kids. You can win Super Bowls wearing your hat sideways, backwards. Exactly. Haven't seen you wear your Mets hat in a while.
Me?
It finally bit the dust. I have to get a new one. It gave me a long run, and it came to a lot of training camps. But unfortunately, training camps are like dog years for hats because of the sweat.
Yeah.
I find it amazing that Pete Alonso is already the Mets' all-time home run leader. Like, I know he's hit some bombs since coming up here in 2019, but the franchise leader already, that's crazy to me. I don't know.
It's a dark history.
It is.
Dark history of the Mets. Judd, you said Lucky Jackson will lead the Vikings in receptions on Saturday, and he was tied with Jordan Addison, and somebody else caught 3, but it counts. And then this one's not fully off the board yet, but you're halfway there. You said Brian Asamoah and Ty Chandler will be cut by the Vikings before the regular season. Well, they said goodbye yesterday to Brian Asamoah, so you're halfway home on this one. We can talk more about that maybe after the predictions, but very interesting. It's because he's liked behind the scenes, and they have seen value as a special teamer. So this isn't like we got to get his ass out of here because he's hurting the team, right?
I think they did this as a favor because if he gets cut on August 26th, he's one of hundreds of names.
Yeah.
So I think that they did this so he would have a chance to actually catch on with a team because the market's not flooded.
Yep. Makes sense. That's how good organizations operate. Unlike Jerry Jones and some other, the Bengals and some of these other idiot organizations. Okay, I had 3 things come off the board. I said Brett Rippon would throw the first preseason touchdown for the Vikings. I said Max Brosmer would throw at least one preseason touchdown pass. And I said J.J. McCarthy would complete his first 3 pass attempts in the preseason opener against the Texans.
Nice.
Ordinarily, 3-item parlays do qualify as touchdowns, but it's also in the spirit of like, is there around a 25% chance or less of it happening? I think completing your first 3 passes of a scripted drive in the preseason, probably above a 25% chance. So I won't fight for a touchdown there. Listeners, let's see here. Who said this? Or was this Declan? Did you say this?
This was me. Well,
no, you said this. I put this on the wrong one.
But I had a Reichard prediction last week that he'd make all of his kicks.
Yeah, I think I just put this in the wrong one. I think the listeners had nothing come off the board. So Declan said Will Reichard won't miss any kicks in the preseason opener. Boom.
Dang.
4 for 4. And this is a touchdown. You said Max Brosmer would throw the first preseason touchdown for the Vikings. Good job, dude. Little Max Brosmer propaganda. So with that here are the season stats. The season runs from Super Bowl to Super Bowl. All of us are pretty red hot here. This is about as hot of a start going back, I think, this is our 5th season of Purple Daily. Write that down. I'm at 55% completions. Judd's at 45.7. Declan 37.7. Listeners 31.3. Judd leads with 4 touchdowns. I have 3. Declan with 2. Listeners still touchdownless, pay dirtless on the season. Career stats going back 5 seasons. Declan just a tick under 37%. Judd and I each at 35%. Listeners at 24%. I have the touchdown lead narrowly 61 over the listeners 60.
Was that was a touchdown pass? So that was my third touchdown on the season.
Man, I feel like the last couple weeks I'm just off my game on this.
Because I think as of last week I had 2.
Let's open up the spreadsheet here. Admittedly, I have been like off my spreadsheet game the last 3 or 4 weeks here. Just like week after week, mistakes. Got to clean it up here.
Look, I logged the predictions with a lot of spelling errors and missing words. Okay, so I'd handle that. I would not want to handle what you're doing. I just full clarity. That is not something that I want to do. So I am thankful for you doing it. I just want to make sure the integrity of the game is still good.
No, you do have, so in the spreadsheet, you do have 3 touchdowns on the season. And then for your career, you have 56. So I did change your career total. I just forgot to change for the visual for the audience. You are tied with me with 3 touchdowns. The spreadsheet did track it, though. The spreadsheet is the engine that runs this thing. And it's rickety. It's like a 1920s vehicle here that you have to kind of wind up, basically.
I feel like you might be a surprise cut from camp. Like, are you just too old for this?
I mean, the problem is, like, I feel like the depth, no offense to you guys, the depth behind me for who could handle this spreadsheet is very thin on our roster. Like, if they cut me and said, all right, Judd, you're the next man up. Here's the 10 years of write that down predictions in a rickety spreadsheet.
So what you're saying is it's sort of like the power grid in our country. It runs, but it's always teetering on, oh my God, it might not run.
Isn't doesn't Texas have their own power grid?
Yeah.
Texas has their own. I think, and then locally in our company, this would be what I call the hit by a bus philosophy. So if Phil gets hit by a bus, the integrity to write that down, I think, goes with the bus. So
yeah, we do try to practice, like, if someone gets hit, but to Declan's point, if someone gets hit by a bus, does someone know the password to this thing? Or this is probably the only thing that if I get hit by a bus, we might be screwed. Because I don't think we share. I think this is just my own. It's not like a Google sheet.
So it
should be a Google sheet so we can all share it.
Well, I don't want to share it. So we should hire a new young tech savvy person who could go get your computer and then run the show from this standpoint, from the technical standpoint.
A hacker. If I get hit by a bus, you'll need to hire a hacker.
Yeah, hack into the system. I mean, we've learned it's possible. It ain't like it's not possible.
I'm actually going to make a note here on my to-do list. I'm literally going to write down hit by a bus theory. Let's make this a Google sheet. So then at least, like, not that you would have to actually do anything with it, but that, you'd have access to it.
Yeah, I agree.
And we wouldn't lose 10 years of predictions.
And to be honest, Judd, I mean, you sometimes forget that you made a prediction. It might help. They're like, oh, I can look back and say, yes, I did make this prediction for the 5th time about Byron Buxton, not going on the injured list.
I've been tracking them very well of late, but those are my own personal predictions. What I want to know is if Phil gets hit by a bus and the funeral
or a linebacker. How about a linebacker?
Yeah.
Well, if Phil gets hit by Andrew Van Ginkel,
At the funeral, Dex and I are in back weeping, and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry that you lost your good friend and podcast partner. This is terrible." And we're like, "No, it's the spreadsheet for write that down."
We're screwed.
We're not that sad about losing Phil's dumb takes. It's more we just don't know how to log into his.
Does anyone have the spreadsheet?
So we'll work on that. We'll work on our processes here. So those are the accountabilities here. Everyone's doing pretty well to start the season. Let's get our guy Billy in the house. Billy jumping on.
Hey guys.
JJ McCarthy propaganda. Did Thor send that to you? Did he overnight that, or how did you get your hands on that?
I actually got it before the season started last season, so I had to put it on the shelf for the whole year after he tore his meniscus. But I've been holding on to it.
And here we are. It's going to hopefully be worth the wait.
Mm-hmm.
So give us more about your fandom, your background, and I don't know how you see the upcoming season going too, Billy.
Yeah, so I'm from LA. Been a Vikings fan since about '98. Obviously, Randy Moss usually is most people's transition to the Vikings. There's no team out here. Bunch of Rams and Charger fans now, but yeah, just ever since then I got hooked, and I've been dealing with all the collapses and depression since then.
Do you prefer? Did you prefer now with two teams there, or back before the two teams moved back there? Because I've heard that Los Angeles fans loved not having a team there because it like freed up the television restrictions and that they could just watch football, and they didn't care enough about like the Rams to be like, we want the Rams back.
Yeah, I went to a game I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago where they did it at the old I think it's LAFC stadium. It was all Vikings fans. Like the whole stadium was Vikings fans. So I enjoy even SoFi right now with Charger. I went to the Rams game last season, and then prior to that, the Chargers game. It was all Vikings fans as well. So there is Rams fans, there is Chargers fans, but at least I think the good thing about it is that there's at least football back in LA, because it used to be just USC, UCLA, and we didn't get to go to any NFL games. We'd have to drive out.
Yeah, it feels like USC has kind of been like the NFL team just because of all the different changes that you were talking about.
And the money.
Yeah.
It's been, Pete Carroll basically
Yeah.
brought the NFL vibe to that organization.
Players before it was okay to pay players.
Yeah. I love how we all went back at, Reggie Bush. Oh, he took like a improper benefit. And then eventually we're like, yeah, I think we'll just give him that Heisman back, right? Everyone's cool. Everyone's cool with this.
Getting paid now, right?
Yep. So, Billy, we're going to start with you. You'll make your first prediction, then over to Judd, and then Dex, and then I'll round it out. We'll make 3 trips around the room. So if you are ready,
write this down.
Let's do it.
All right. So I've been thinking about this one just because there's a lot of parallels with this season and the 2000 Vikings with Dante Culpepper coming in. He was like our last really good franchise quarterback, at least in my opinion. And in that week 1 game, they played the Chicago Bears also. And Dante Culpepper, I was excited to see him. He had Chris Carter, Randy Moss, but he ran for 3 touchdowns on that game. So I am going to say that our boy McCarthy is going to run for at least 1 rushing touchdown in the opening game of the season against the Bears.
I love this prediction.
Me too.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell is encouraging him. The phrase he used coming out of the locker room after the first preseason game with the first down that he gained on that 4th and 4 was stealing a first down with your legs. So if that's what they're talking about behind the scenes, that, hey, you're probably not going to sit back there like a 10-year veteran quarterback and go through all your progressions perfectly every time. So if you're in the red zone or it's like a 3rd and short, 4th and short, dude, go steal a touchdown. Go steal a first down with your legs. Judd's gonna steal some snacks with his legs in the media room there.
Write this down.
I already did.
Okay.
Plus free coffee. It's great.
That's free coffee. Okay.
Got a nice little mug here. Got free coffee. Caribou, I believe. It's very nice. All right, write this down. Since we've been talking about it all week long, Max Brosmer will make the initial 53-man roster.
Okay.
So Max Brosmer will make the Vikings 53-man roster.
Oh, did you get sniped there, Dex?
Well, no. There's breaking news with the Twins. It sounds like the Pollads are going to pull the team off the market and remain in the principal owner.
What?
Hold on a second.
Oh, let's go.
I'm done.
Oh my God. Oh, no, there's a letter. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to shelve that. We're going to shelve that for now. Judd's literally walking out. He's walking out of the practice facility. He's going to put something else besides coffee in that mug. Man. Okay, we'll get to it. We'll
get to it.
This is Purple Daily. But we'll get to
I got 3 texts and an email within a 30-second span, and I was assuming it was going to say they were sold. And I got the spreadsheet up, so I got a lot of moving parts.
Declan.
And then they bury the lead like 6 paragraphs into this letter saying, by the way, we're remaining in control.
Declan, you screwed up big time. You should have held this for the Mackie and Judd. Write that down. And if Phil and I hadn't seen it, you should have made the prediction. Insider information. Anyway, all right. Sorry.
Could have snagged.
Write this down.
All right. I think we're back to Dex here. Go ahead.
Okay, and Judd, I'm sorry, I didn't write down your prediction. You said Max Brosmer will.
He'll make the.
We'll buy the Twins.
53. Yeah.
He'll make the 53 man.
He's going to be really good. He's going to buy the Twins.
Jeez, God, I'm fuming inside. All right, I'll write this down. Write this down. I'll make a Max Brosmer prediction as well. Max Brosmer. I'm going to kind of go back to a similar I did last week. Max Brosmer leads a touchdown drive on the first series for the Vikings against the Patriots on Saturday. So the first series Brosmer gets in, he will lead them to a touchdown drive. Write it down.
We're all just
Or Brosmer,
just chugging Max Brosmer maroon and gold Kool-Aid here. Okay, write this down.
Write this down.
I believe in the Lucky Jackson, the power of Lucky Jackson's training camp here. So I'm going to say, and Joe, we'll both be there at these joint practices, so we'll have to kind of figure this out.
Yep.
I think this is pretty cut and dry, but write this down. J.J. McCarthy will connect with Lucky Jackson on a red zone touchdown pass at some point during the joint practices today or tomorrow.
Okay.
So it could be a full team where they're like in the red zone, or it could be a red zone drill, but it's got to be full team, and it's got to be a touchdown pass. So it's pretty cut and dry. If it's like, hey, they're doing full team at the 50, and it doesn't matter. I'm saying a red zone touchdown pass to Lucky Jackson.
Okay.
Write this down.
Perfect.
I think it's cut and dry.
Write this down.
All right, back to Billy.
All right, so I'm gonna ride the Brosmer train as well, and since the listeners need points and stuff, so I'm gonna say that Brosmer probably gets at least 2 quarters this preseason game coming up. I mean, I'm not sure if they're gonna play Rippin 1 quarter, Howell another quarter, and then Brosmer gets the whole second half. But I'm going to say at least Brosmer can at least throw for 2 touchdowns in that time span. And hopefully we get some points.
Do you have any loyalty at all or emotional attachment to the Gophers, or is it more like you're adopting Max Brosmer because of your Vikings fandom?
I don't. I actually tried to get into the Gophers, but they just would always lose whenever I'd watch them. Dude. So I couldn't.
It's tough, man. Unless you're born into it.
Timberwolves are. Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. That's a safe. I mean, latching yourself to Anthony Edwards is a pretty safe proposition here the next
Write this down.
10 years. Okay, Judd.
All right. Write this down. Bears coach Ben Johnson will bench Caleb Williams for a start or during the first 3 quarters of a game this season. First 3 quarters. So like the fourth is not fair because like they could be way down, they could be way up. This has to be a benching, okay?
Or you're saying like within the first 3 quarters?
Yeah, within the first 3 quarters. Exactly right. So if he benches him after the 4th quarter starts, that could come for a variety of reasons. So he's either going to bench him for a start or he's going to bench him during the course of the first 3 quarters of a game. That way, I think we avoid the debate of if he gets benched in the 4th quarter, but they're also down by a lot or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Dex. I can just see Dex's wheels turning, processing.
Dex is not good at hiding anger.
I want to see Dex at a high-stakes poker table.
That's why I don't play poker.
Yeah, it's a good
because I'm
just
miserably upset.
4th
Seething.
club hits on the river, wiping out his straight.
Good call.
This GD quote at the end is like I can't.
Boy,
it's
we'll
why
get
I
to
haven't even read it yet. I think
we'll get to it.
Okay. Let's do this. Write this down. Someone who is currently not on the Vikings roster as of this recording. So I have it in the notes too. August 13th, 9:30 a.m. Will record a reception or a rushing attempt with the Vikings in week 1. So someone who is external, someone's not even on the roster right now. The spirit of this is they're going to either probably bring in a wide receiver that they'll sign. Even if Ty Chandler doesn't make the team, if they add a 3rd running back, does he like stumble his way into a rushing attempt? That's kind of the spirit of this prediction. So someone who is currently not on the roster will record a reception or a rushing attempt in week 1 against the Bears. Write it down.
Wow. Okay. I think that's a touchdown because it's like the player's not here yet, and he has to produce week 1. So there's like a few. It's a parlay that's kind of disguised. So make a note there, Dex. That is a touchdown if it happens.
Write this down.
Okay, I talked about this a couple weeks ago on one of our episodes, but I think based solely on the Vikings defense and the quarterbacks that they face in the first 6 weeks. So you get week 1, Caleb Williams, who has not been great by all accounts, trying to pick up this new system, and he's already prone to sacks and mistakes and turnovers. And then you get inexperienced Michael Penix. So you get 2 inexperienced quarterbacks in the first 2 weeks, one of which is learning a new system. Then you get, in a couple of these games, you get a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers and a 40-year-old Joe Flacco, or maybe like a rookie Shedeur Sanders. So you're going to have a huge, huge advantage defense versus quarterback in 4 of these games. So my prediction is the Vikings will be leading the NFC North coming out of their Week 7 bye. So they will be leading the NFC North coming out of the Week 7 bye. Write it down.
Well, that's pretty good. Okay.
I thought about doing the going into the bye. This is going to screw me, I guarantee, because watch them be tied for the lead, and then like the Packers or the Lions, I haven't checked their bye week schedule. They like win a game in Week 7 to go a half game up, but I'm willing to risk it.
Write this down.
All right, back to Billy for his third and final prediction.
Oh, my bad.
Actually, a prediction that I actually not prediction, but a bet that I actually put in Vegas, and it's a parlay. It's that the Vikings will win the NFC North, win the NFC North. That's that was my bet. But I also think that they're going to win their first playoff game with Kevin O'Connell and represent the one of the teams in the NFC Championship game. So play somebody. I don't know if they're going to make the Super Bowl.
I was going to say, off the record, what do you think?
There we go.
There you go.
Billy just walking up. Love it, man. Billy, great having you on. Great predictions. The whole avatar is working here. It's a sweet hat, the JJ McCarthy shirt, representing Vikings fans and Purple Daily in Southern California. So we appreciate you coming on. Since you've got this platform, is there anyone you'd like to shout out or thank that helped you get to this peak life moment right now?
I'd like to thank my wife and my kids for putting up with my fascination with the Vikings. Every Sunday, they're there with me.
Fascination's a great word. You know, like what are your hobbies? I'm fascinated by the Vikings.
Are you fascinated or infatuated, or both, perhaps?
Or infuriated sometimes?
That's an easy one.
In love, a little bit. I don't know. They hurt as much as a relationship. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe more so. Yeah.
And I'd like to say I have some Rams fans that are very big haters. So I'd like to send, them some love as well, because, we're better people.
We're better humans. That's right. You Rams fans are just bad humans. You heard it from Billy. Billy, awesome stuff, dude. Good luck with your predictions and enjoy the season. Hopefully we can talk again soon.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Guest listener, predictor, Billy. Good stuff there, man. It's always fun just seeing like how people become Vikings fans, and it's 98's always a big hook.
I have been infatuated with watching Declan seethe now. Since this
Well, the other thing we're trying to do is just behind the curtain here. So ordinarily we would now in a, I don't know, like 20 minutes, we would do our OG Write That Down session. But this warrants an emergency live Scorner Twin Show podcast. So Declan's organizing that as we speak right now.
But he's mad.
He's got a lot of tabs open.
He can't see straight right now. He's absolutely beside him. This is the definition. When a person says he's beside himself, and you're like, what does that mean? Declan Goff is beside himself right now.
You know what he could use, Judd? A Pronto Pup. A Pronto Pup makes you feel better, and with some mustard.
No ketchup, I'm told. It's only
mustard.
Well, Pronto Pup is the State Fair's original food on a stick and the best food value that you're going to get at the fair. A day at the fair, it's not complete without you enjoying a Pronto Pup. Founded in 1947, it goes that far back by the Carnes family. 8 great locations throughout the fairgrounds, which, of course, Score North and Purple Daily will be at starting next week. Make sure you support Pronto Pups this year. Official food on a stick. And also, don't forget, this is really the highlight to me, to stop by the Score North booth, which is right near the grandstand at the fair, and pick up your very own Judd on a stick.
Yeah.
I do not have one with me here. I had one yesterday. They're at home. But Judd on a stick, Pronto Pup on a stick, everything available at the fair on a stick.
Yeah, it's and by the way, August 21st through the 29th is where we're going to be at the fair. Score North podcast, a lot of Purple Daily between noon and 3 every single day. ScoreNorth.com/fair for the full schedule. We'd love to see as many of you as possible. It's been years since we've done like the daily fair shows, so we're excited. Also, so there's a lot of good food at the Renaissance Festival. Open weekends from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. starting in just a few days, August 16th through September 28th and Labor Day. Great place to hang out with the family. 16 stages of entertainment, street acts, music, full armor jousting, sword fighting. Judd's going to take part in the fire breathing portion of the Renaissance Festival. We haven't told you that yet, but we'll give you details later. So yeah, bring your family. It could be date night at Renaissance Festival. You can find out more information at renaissancefest.com. That's renaissancefest.com. All right, Judd, what is your third and final prediction? We'll start with you here.
I've been inspired by Declan's last prediction, so write this down. The player who returns the first punt of the regular season for the Vikings is not on the roster. So the player who returns the first punt now of the season is not on the roster as of this. Write that down.
Okay. So it's kind of that's probably a touchdown too. Because it's kind of a parlay.
I'll take it.
So Brandon Powell is essentially going to.
Yeah, I just don't know. They had 4 guys returning punts a couple of days ago, and I did my due diligence, and I can't find any history of them returning punts, or I think they're long shots to make the roster.
Yeah. All right, Dex.
Write this down.
Joe Polad will return punts for the Minnesota Vikings 2025.
I'm going to make a prediction revolving 2 of my favorite quarterbacks. That's obviously J.J. McCarthy, and that's my guy, Brock Purdy. So write this down. I'm inspired by Colin Cowherd, who said J.J. McCarthy is Brock Purdy 2.0 yesterday on his podcast. So I'll quantify it this way. Brock Purdy and J.J. McCarthy, write this down, will each be top 10 in ESPN QBR in 2025.
Wow. Okay.
So, and I feel like I'm safe here. I do have a minimum of 10 games started. So like, I feel like if they get a full season, I don't want one of these guys to go down like in week 1 or 2, obviously. And if they had a killer game, like I don't want to backdoor it into that way. But I guess the 10 games started could also still hurt me because some random dude could maybe sneak in there. So, but I do have the spirit of this is both of them will finish top 10 in ESPN QBR next season.
We should we'll definitely before the week is up. Maybe we do it on Thursday tomorrow. Come back to that talker about like is that an insult? Because I almost feel like it was like an insult in some ways. But if he's Purdy, that means the Vikings are probably going to a Super Bowl, and it really only becomes a problem, quote unquote, when you have to decide to what extent do you pay him in like 4 years, right?
I'm so confused. So Cowherd doesn't like McCarthy, but now he's comparing him to a guy.
He doesn't really like Purdy either, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
Not that he thinks Purdy is not as good as the numbers because of where he was drafted, the roster and stuff. And
I did see a picture of Purdy, and I probably shouldn't say this, but he was wearing his hat backwards.
Nice.
I've seen some of that too.
And so I was like, I'm out on him.
So final prediction from me here.
Write this down.
I'm going to get into the the Max Brosmer futures predictions here.
Max Purdy.
Brock Brosmer. Brock Brosmer. So you guys are making predictions about the upcoming preseason games. I'm going to make a long-term Max Brosmer prediction. Write this down. Max Brosmer will throw a regular season NFL touchdown pass at some point in his career. At some point, he will be a regular season player, quarterback, starter, maybe, but he will throw a regular season touchdown pass at some point in his NFL career.
Okay, so he'll throw a regular season National Football League touchdown pass. So, like, if he bounces around to like
this could be in 4 years for all we know.
Okay, so he could actually leave the league, come back in, and throw that touchdown pass.
Yeah, this only comes off the board if he throws a touchdown or if he retires, basically.
Okay.
Or gets hit by a bus.
I was going to say
that conversation. Yeah.
And if you do, we're going to throw this out.
Hopefully, Max Brosmer has a shared Google sheet that everyone can.
This is very old school Judd-like of you, by the way.
What, the hit by a bus?
No.
Putting a prediction out into the future.
Yes, just like kicking it down just like it could happen in 2035. He comes back as an old guy and anyway. All right.
You do have I do have the non-shared spreadsheet open right now, and you definitely have a few of these where like we've had to put some end dates on them.
Yeah.
Let's just get these off the board. But on the OG Mackey and Judd, because we've had predictions going back 10 years, you have the Vikings. This is like 8 years ago. The Vikings will retire Randy Moss's number 84 at some point. So unless we put an end date on there, the only way that comes off the board is either if they retire it or we all die.
Yeah, we'll die with this one. And by the way, if we do, the Vikings have made a mistake because they should retire it. I will continue to say that. You know, here's what's weird. Since he retired, since he left here twice now, that number has been circulated a ton. Do you know whose number has not been circulated a ton? It's been like twice, maybe tops. Adrian Peterson.
In terms of like just noise.
Post Adrian. No,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying post Peterson, if you go back, I think it was a guy in training camp last year had 28. That might have been the first time the 28 was out there. It's just weird that they could not wait to give 84 out, and it felt like with 28 they were much more like, I don't know about that.
It is hard in the NFL because you literally have 90 guys on a practice roster or like an off-season camp roster. So I do think sometimes there's duplicate numbers, offense and defense, that you might see, but in terms of like how likely a franchise would be to retire Randy Moss or Adrian Peterson's numbers, the fact that Adrian Peterson every 6 months gets arrested for something or is caught publicly doing something shameful.
Yeah.
Randy Moss has had some of that before, but he's mostly been in the good graces publicly for many, many years. And it's just like, Adrian, dude, chill out, save a couple dollars from your appearances.
He can't.
Just at some point you'll get back in the good graces.
Just to troll, the Patriots should join the Celtics, and they should retire. So 5 is retired by the Celtics for Garnett. The Patriots should, I think he wore 81 there. They should retire Moss's number. So we'd be 0 for 2 on Superstars.
Gosh, could you imagine? Yeah, if you're the Celtics and you're just looking to troll, let's do an abbreviated Judd's Camp Notes here for a few minutes before we say goodbye, and then we're going to be at joint practice. We're going to have a ton of stuff from joint practice the rest of the week against those aforementioned Patriots. MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, powering Write That Down Wednesday here on Purple Daily.
Absolutely true. In fact, I met with the fine folks from MSP. They do such great work, and I'm telling you right now, they've helped me out with my needs when it comes to heating. Right now is an AC time is perfect, but also a reminder that they're going to be back at Woodbury Days, August 22nd through the 24th. Find them at their booth all weekend, and don't miss the Sunday parade. Stop by the booth to enter their grill giveaway. That's a perfect way to wrap up summer. Also, Woodbury Days runs the Grand Button Prize every year, and this time MSP is partnering with Halo Water Systems to give one lucky person a free whole home water filtration system for free. You can win this. If you have any AC needs or needs when it comes to plumbing, heating, and air, give them a call, 651-615-4292, or check them out, callmsp.com. That's their website, callmsp.com.
Also, for all the men of Purple Daily, an important message for you and us, that there is a massive need for organ donors in Minnesota and around the country, but like a lot of Minnesota listeners here and viewers on Purple Daily. Only 57% of people in our region are registered on their driver's license or state ID as organ donors. Meanwhile, 2,000 people in Minnesota are waiting for a life-saving transplant. those numbers do not match up. And any one of us could wind up being one of those 2,000 people waiting for a transplant. That number is much higher across the country, by the way, when you start adding up all the states. So there's 4 ways to register as a donor. Number 1, you could just, when you renew or apply for a driver's license, check the donor box. Number 2, go online, life-source.org. Number 3, in the health app on your iPhone. Or number 4, when purchasing a hunting or a fishing license online. All of those are ways you can become an organ donor. Age and health history do not exclude you. If you're old or you've had issues, it doesn't matter. Check the box. Let smarter people figure out. My dad had lung cancer like 3 times, and they still found some things after he died that were useful. So don't let those things exclude you. Judd, just an abbreviated Judd's camp notes here, real quick. Judd's camp notes. The Vikings announced yesterday Rondale Moore, injured reserve. Not shocking just how devastated he was. He knew the minute that he hit the ground with that leg injury that it was not good. And just his emotional reaction, already having come back from last year's season-ending injury. He's had just horrible injury fortune. And then Brian Asamoah, one of the last remaining 2022 draft picks, was waived a couple weeks before the cut line. So what did you make of those 2 moves and their impact on those players and the roster, Judd?
So until August 26th, you can have 90 men on the roster. They also made a move where they reached an injury settlement with the offensive lineman. I think his name was Zeke Correll, who was hurt on Saturday. They're down to 86, okay? So they got 4 spots. That's where I think that we are looking at a receiver or 2 being added. If there's other places of depth where there's question marks, there is room there. But yeah, on Moore, it's a shame. It's too bad. But the reality is this: you need a punt returner, and if you look at the receiving depth now, they still have a dozen receivers on the roster. But how many of them do you truly trust? And Jefferson I think he's fine. I think he's been, and I have zero problem, this is not a criticism, I think he's been for the most part mothballed, which I'd have no problem with. He took part in all of the offseason workouts. He and McCarthy, clearly in O'Connell's mind, have developed a chemistry. So the plan with Jefferson I have zero problem with. But that being said, with Addison out for 3 games, I look at that depth chart now, and I know that, it's 3 games, and I understand that there are other receiving options. But I will say this: if you fall down in one of those 3 games, and now you do need to pass more, and you need functional receivers. Naylor's 2 is a stretch, but I think it's a must. So, and as much as I like his camp, Lucky Jackson at the 3, I have questions about. So I fully expect that they're going to add a receiver or 2, perhaps a Brandon Powell to return punts. I know it's not great, but he can catch the ball. And then the question is, do you try to add a veteran receiver now or in the final cuts to join you to, serve in the 3 role? Yeah. Here's an interesting thought, and I don't love this one, but I'll throw it out there. So there was a rogue report on Twitter yesterday, or on X, that Odell Beckham was retiring. And Odell got on X and said, "I'm not retiring. Quit congratulating me, and if you congratulate me, I'm blocking you. I'm still trying to play." I'll go back to this, 2022, and he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl with the Rams, but with O'Connell as his OC, Odell Beckham finished that season as a Ram. So
I think I didn't repost it, but I saw it was either like a fake report or something.
Yeah, it was a fake thing.
And mentally I was like, I'll cross him off the list. That's a guy that knows the system.
But he knows the system, right? Exactly.
But so the last couple of years, he's really, his usage is he is nowhere near even the Rams version of Odell Beckham that we saw in 2021. So he did not play in 22, goes to Baltimore in 2023, plays 14 games, catches 35 passes for 565, which that's 16 yards a catch. He was still a downfield threat for Baltimore. Last year he was in Miami. I think that was the only stop for him.
It was.
He played in 9 games, was targeted 18 times, 9 catches for 55 yards, 6 yards per reception.
Yeah.
So I really worry that the name is as far away from the productivity as we've ever seen with Odell Beckham Jr. I would personally, if it was, I don't think Carolina's trading Thielen until the trade deadline. If they're I think Carolina wants to make a push. They don't play a playoff team until week 8. Mm-hmm. So I think they want to come out make a push and then reevaluate at the deadline. But if they are not in it at the deadline, Thielen will be available. But that doesn't help you within the first 3 games when Addison's out. So
does Gabe Davis intrigue you? So he was a very productive player in Buffalo, signed a big contract in Jacksonville. He got hurt his knee last November, was released in May. I think he's still only 26. I'm just saying you need somebody. It would be nice to get somebody to tide you over while Jordan is out with a suspension that you at least think could catch the ball and produce. I mean, you've got 12 guys, but the majority of them here right now are complete unknowns.
Gabe Davis with Buffalo for sure was a big downfield threat guy. Like he was like I don't know if he ever got to like 20 yards of reception, but he was a big like chunk play down the field guy for Josh Allen. Those are different offenses, but yeah, it's because one of the big Addison's a great route runner, but one of the big things that he gives you sort of opposite Jefferson is a home run threat, a guy that can catch a 40-yard pass and house call it.
Correct.
So kind of depends on what you're looking for with what you're planning to do offensively. Are you looking to just replace a deep threat for a few weeks? Are you looking for someone that can reliably catch passes and move the chains more like short intermediate? Somebody that might have some familiarity with the system versus someone that would come in cold and different guys check. It's not like fantasy football where like you just bring Gabe Davis in and he has no idea what the system is and no chemistry.
Right.
And you just plug him in. But yeah, I mean, you're right. He's only 26 years old. He would make a little bit more sense than some of the bigger names that are in their 30s that just aren't the same player they were like 3 or 4 years ago.
And I obviously didn't watch him play a lot with Jacksonville because I don't watch a ton of Jags football, but I will say this. It felt very dysfunctional there. So I don't know if he's to blame before he got hurt or if he wasn't a good fit in part because the culture there was so bad.
Yeah. So plenty more Judd's camp notes. Judd's camp notes throughout the week. But we're gonna land this plane and take off on the Score North Twin Show plane. So if you're listening to this and you're a Twins fan and you haven't yet heard the emergency Pollad retaining ownership podcast we're about to record, keep your eye out on the Score North Twin Show YouTube channel and podcast feed. And pretty soon Judd and I will head out to watch Patriots and Vikings joint practice day number 1. So big week for the Vikings. Big week for Purple Daily and also scorenorth.com/bid. A shout out to Rolex Vans for their $2,000 match yesterday. We appreciate them and their support of our Power of Sports auction here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on Purple Daily, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before the Pollads sell the team.